Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. This is for educational purpose only. This is all my thoughts and my opinion. Steve Gonsalves got a warning letter through his lawyer, Shannon Gray, in the beginning of the case. He was attempting to contact, I believe, students in Idaho, Moscow. But before he could make his move, before he could get in a room and have a heart-to-heart talk with the witnesses, he was unexpectedly stopped in his tracks by the FBI. So the FBI contacted Shannon Gray, Steve G's lawyer, because Steve was going to meet up with the surviving roommates, I believe. They were the witnesses. Unless it was Hunter and Emma A. he was contacting. And before he could even have this heart-to-heart convo with the witnesses, he was stopped in his track by the FBI. The borough had sent an official letter to Steve's attorney in Moscow, Shannon Gray, warning that if there was any attempt to contact the individual Steve had been pursuing, there would be legal consequences. The witness had originally reached out to the authorities, that's the FBI, to a tip line that promised to protect the identities of anyone volunteering information. And the borough was duty-bound to honor their commitment. And the letter went on to make clear with an intimidating force that the fact that Steve was the father of one of the victims gave him no dispensation from the legal consequences that accompany tampering with government witness. So the only government witnesses I can think of would be the surviving roommates. That Chief Fry told ABC News in the press conference. He corrected the reporter by saying, "I never said the surviving roommates were witnesses. I just said they were there." So the two surviving roommates who were just there, or Hunter and Emma, his girlfriend, one of them contacted the tip line of the FBI and reported Steve, because Steve G wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation with the witnesses, which I don't blame him. Those were the people who saw his daughter lost. What are the witnesses hiding? Don't they own an explanation to the 4 victims' parents? And my question is, why did Steve try to contact them? If Steve Gonsalves is so sure that it was Brian Christopher Koberger who came with the KILL kit and unalived these 4 victims, why was he trying to contact the witnesses? That means, in my opinion, he knew that there was more to this case than Brian Christopher Koberger. Steve has been tampering with the case from the beginning, and that is what makes me believe his Facebook was shut down, not because he violated any rights. That man has been violating rights for a long time now. I think it's because of what happened in the Dateline episode. I think Judge Hippler got really frustrated and upset because he watches the news. He watches YouTube channels. And he must be fed up and tired of seeing Steve and Chrissy coming and pretending that they were at the crime scene themselves. Wasn't it Steve who said it was a hell of a fight upstairs? Fight upstairs. It doesn't sound like one suspect. It doesn't sound like one suspect. Steve knew what was going on in the college. Let's not forget, Steve Jr., Kaylee's brother, attended the college. Steve G must have heard rumors. Why was he ignoring and giving the look of death to Jack D at the memorial? Why didn't he let Jack D speak? I think he wanted to ask the surviving roommates what exactly happened. If Jack D was there, if Jack Schwalter was there, allegedly, the Davids, the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, and he was stopped. Or maybe he didn't believe the surviving roommates, because there were leaks from the grand jury that both of the surviving roommates were texting. This wasn't news to us when the 911 call came out. We already knew they were texting each other. The parents should have been put on a gag order too, from the very beginning. Because Steve has just managed to turn this case into a circus. In the beginning, he said there was a hell of a fight upstairs. He said the victims couldn't have been saved because it happened so quickly. They couldn't have survived it. How would he know? He said they didn't have to go to the 3rd floor. Does it mean the targets were in the 2nd floor, Zan and E? Does it mean that Kaylee and Maddie were collateral damage? Is that what is he trying to say? All I know is he's made a circus out of this case. It is not only the Dateline episode that is making delays in this trial. Howard Bloom has done enough damage in this trial, in my opinion, in my personal opinion. Everyone has been trying to get benefits out of this case, writing books, writing the AML article, opening GoFundMes, like the G family. GoFundMes opened by Sigma Chi frat for Ethan? Doesn't make sense. They're the culprits, in my opinion. What a nice move. Make a GoFundMe so that nobody will realize that you were behind it. Allegedly. Even Howard Bloom doesn't have the correct details. And I'm fed up of him making so much accusations on Brian Koberger and his parents and sisters. This man needs to be on a gag order immediately, in my opinion. Howard Bloom and Steve G are acting like they were at the crime scene themselves. They all have been distracting us, trying to sell us a narrative when the truth is in front of our eyes. Where was Murphy that night? Where was poor Murphy? I personally believe Murphy was taken out of the house. How come Murphy didn't have any DNA on him? Let's not forget Jack D lives next door. That is one of the owners of this dog. Oliveria, Kaylee's sister, said, "My sisters did everything right. They came home in a body ride. They locked their door. They let their dog out to potty, and yet this still happened." Could someone have put Murphy to sleep? Put something in his treats? Linda Lane, we clearly hear. I never do the Linda Lane footages. There's a reason. Linda Lane is too confusing to be even considered as factual evidence. That's why I focus on Banfield, the grub truck, because those are actually what the police put out themselves. Maybe whoever unalived Kaylee wanted to keep Murphy as a memory, as a trophy. Poor Murphy. People said they heard a dog barking loudly. I wonder if it was Murphy or if it was other dogs in the area. Could something have happened when Kaylee and Maddie let Murphy out to potty? Did somebody attack them then? It's possible. If you look closely at the white truck, David Lodge's truck allegedly, and if you look at the timeline, that's 1:56 a.m. That is the same time Eric Gower dropped Maddie and Kaylee at home. What if Maddie and Kaylee opened the door to let Murphy out to potty? And what if the suspects forced themselves in? Or they could have been waiting inside the house before Maddie and Kaylee even entered the house. That is completely possible. The fact that I see David Lodge's truck outside Kings Road says a lot. This is the same white truck that was driving at 125 towards the grub truck and corner club actually. My bad. The corner club. Was David Lodge parked there? That's a perfect place to park. And he has tinted windows so that he can actually see Eric Gower swinging into Kings Road, dropping off Maddie and Kaylee. He's not far from Jack D's house. Quite strange. I personally believe this wasn't only one person, two people, or three people. I believe there were many people on the watch out. 1:56. What an important timing. That is when Kaylee and Maddie was dropped off. Two weeks before the quadruples on Halloween Day, DM was being bullied, allegedly. You can see that on the TikTok of Maddie. Was DM upset? And if DM knew, allegedly, this was going to happen, and even if she wasn't involved, She could have thought, they bullied you, let it be. Let whatever happens, happen. Just a thought. I'm thinking about all the people who could have had motives and targets. DM and BF were at home at 1 o'clock allegedly. They could have let David Lodge in. They know Jack Showalter from Boise, Idaho, because DM and Showalter went to Boise, Idaho college or high school together. We've seen pictures of BF sitting on Showalter's lap, so they know Showalter, and Showalter is the neighbor. They know Hunter. They called Hunter and Emmy first. The surviving roommates know more than they're saying. I believe this was all pre-planned. And I believe they didn't call 911 immediately because maybe BF had illegal stuff at home that she had to get rid of. Showalter already threatened Maddie and Kaylee. He said, you know we're going to get you for that, girls. So whatever Maddie told Adam, whether it was about rugs, whether it was about Kaylee moving on with the relationship, whether it was Kaylee moving to Texas, Austin, with Murphy, her dog, something was sold to Adam that made everyone decide to silence the 4 victims. It's heartbreaking, but it's the truth. Eric Garwood never did an interview with the mainstream news media. I don't know why. Is he scared of the frats too? Or was he working with the frats? So this man knows Xana, Maddie, Kaylee, DM, BF. He's an important link. I wonder if he saw David Lodge's white pickup in Kings Road when he was dropping off Maddie and Kaylee.
It's being called a crime of passion. The killer or killers used an edged weapon such as a knife, police just revealed. I spoke with Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, Olivia, who described the last night of the students' lives.
My sisters did everything right. They went out in the buddy system. They went out together. They Ubered out. They stopped and got food. They Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. Ubered home. They let their dog out to go potty, and then they locked their house up. Everything right. And this still happened.
My sisters did everything right. That's Maddie and Kaylee. They drove home with the Uber private shared driver, Eric. They locked their doors. They let the dog out to potty. They did everything right, and this still happened. I still believe that somebody attacked the girls when they let Murphy out to potty. Let me know what y'all think. But keep in mind, David Lodge, his white pickup truck is in front of Kings Road at 1:56 a.m. That is a crucial red flag. He lives at Nez Drive, Sigma Chi. Why is his white truck, his white pickup in Kings Road the same time Maddie and Kaylee are coming home? So now the timelines is actually bringing the puzzle together. 4chan told us, I still believe in the anonymous 4chan person. He said they would do it in 19 minutes. We saw them running at 3:12. Go back 90 minutes. It all started at 2:53. That was when Maddie Morgan was calling Bethany Funk. Or texting. No, she was calling. A female was yelling at 2:55, "Stop it, stop." Then you have Saeed at Banfield watching the pictures. The people at the grub truck yelling out Zana's name. Why did they change their timelines? Who are they protecting? The college? Something's not right. Pay attention to the timing. 1:56, 13th of November, 2022. Look at the house straight down, the big white house. I showed you all it had a camera a couple of weeks ago. You see the white truck, the white pickup truck is David Lodge's white pickup truck. So was he waiting for Maddie and Kaylee to come home? Did he try maybe, allegedly, to attack them? And Maddie could have run down the alleyway towards Taylor Avenue and they could have dragged her home and taken off her jacket. Let me know what y'all think. But this timeline is gold. It is gold. I told you, the only busy bees that night, the only people we saw everywhere, Corner Club, Grub Truck, Banfield, was the Sigma Chi, and the other fraternity brothers. Please like, share, and subscribe. May the correct justice be served.